Well, hi there, friends. It is good to see you again. And you can see the scenery has changed behind me yet again. You know, I have been on this journey for a while. Actually, since the beginning of my channel, when I started it with the 30 Days of Self-Love Challenge, and then followed that up with another 30 Days of Self-Love Challenge. Wow. How far I have come since those days. It was just last December. But okay, so here we are now, July, second half of July 2025. I've had this channel for 7 or 8 months, and it's been like a record of my journey. From, the 30 Days of Self-Love Challenge to taking you with me on my trips and all of the daily reminders and encouragement that I try to spread out there. But a few months ago, I started adding some quantum flow stuff to my channel. And then I just kind of feel like I disappeared for a minute. So I did. I did disappear. I disappeared into the books. I became a bookworm, but this time there were no books. So a student of quantum flow. What is quantum flow? Why be a student? Why now? What's it doing? So many questions I have in my head that I want to answer for you as the beginning of my attempt to share it with everyone. I really feel so good these days that I just want to help more people feel this flow, right? This flow. So quantum flow was synthesized by Wampa Barahona, and so quantum flow came through him, right? As a synthesis of all of his knowledge. And on this journey, people have told me, oh, it looks like Qigong. Oh, it looks like this. Oh, it looks like that. And I will say it looks like all of that combined. I've been studying a lot of different modalities myself and learning a lot through my years. And this is a synthesis of like all that makes sense in my brain, and it's a framework of how to align yourself with your soul truth through your physical body. That sounds really heavy, but the best part about this is that it's actually it's through your physical body, right? And breath work and movement and being aware of your energy field. So it can be classified as like woo, man. My friends, you can classify it that if you want, but for me, it's so much more, right? And so what I want to use this new series for is trying to make it seem more real, trying to help understand why, what, how, all of the pieces of the puzzle, right? And so I'm going to pull in my science background, and you can call it pseudoscience if you want. I don't care. And I'm going to pull in some of my life experience, and I'm going to pull in, I've even been working on this analogy from like the perspective of our brain is just a giant computer, and how can I use the analogy of a computer to help understand quantum flow. So that's it. That's what we're going to do here. We're going to explore quantum flow from the perspective of a student. So I hope you enjoy. Okay, so we understand that quantum flow is a structure of breath and energy work and your body movement that is synthesized all together by Wampa and taught by him and through him and his group and his information. If I remember, I will link everything so you can find him in the description below, because I think it's very important to get it from the source. I will remind you that this is the understanding from a student's perspective. I am in the third module, you know. So going through it, the structure starts with grounding, hence all those grounding meditations, right? Grounding and the importance of grounding. And then it moves from grounding into alchemy, from alchemy to incorment. Incorment, this is his word, and I really feel it, and I'll explain it in a little bit. Incorment, then flow, radiancy, and then flow, integration, and divine truth. So those are the 7 stages of a quantum flow session. And yeah, quantum flow was done in sessions. As like a student practicing it, I'm practicing different parts throughout the day, but we really want to do it in a session. And actually what I'm seeing is that you want to go through all 7 of those stages multiple times through a session if you can, because it helps you get deeper the second and third time through. Ideas for future practice. Yeah. Okay. So the 7 stages of a quantum flow session, starting with grounding, alchemy, incorment, radiancy, flow, integration, divine knowledge. Starting with grounding in your reality, getting raw and real with where you are right now. And that means no judgments, just pure acceptance, observations. Let's pull our scientific brain out for a second and clearly observe our circumstances, our situation, our life from an objective viewpoint. Just objective. Just what do you see? Describe it. So objectively, where are you at? From taking this objective look at your body, all of your bodies, your energetic body, your mental body, your emotional body, your spiritual body. I say physical body? There's one missing. But all of your bodies, where are you at in your life, in all different aspects of your life? How are your relationships? How are your relationships with yourself? Right? How are you showing up for yourself? How are you showing up for others? Are you giving too much? Are you not giving enough? So what is your circumstances? Getting really objective with it, not blaming, not judging, not being negative, just a clear, objective look. Where are you? What does it look like? Now that we have this clear, objective look at where we're at, let's ground into where we want to be. What is our higher calling? What is our true self calling for? What is it that we want to be in our lives? How do we want our lives to look? How do we want those rated numbers to be on a bigger scale, right? If your relationships out of a scale of 1 to 10 are a 3, then maybe your goal for your life is to have better relationships with yourself and with others, relationships of all kinds. So then what does that look like for you? What do healthy relationships with yourself, your friends, your family, your co-workers, the different people you interact with during the day, what does an optimal relationship look like to you? And then what is standing in your way? What is it? Because once you see where you're at and you know where you're going, then it's just the path between here and there, right? But are there roadblocks? Are there speed bumps? Are there potholes? Are there giant sinkholes? What is standing in your way from getting from here to there? That's what the alchemy is for. Okay, so moving into alchemy. Alchemy is removing everything that no longer serves you. It's just burning it out of your system. And you did your grounding, you came up with where you're at. I'm right here. I want to be right there. Then you embody that feeling in the present moment. How does that feel? Come up with your intention. What is your intention to get there? How, what? We can go into that a little bit more later. But then alchemy is where it gets really fun, because alchemy is releasing everything that no longer serves you, everything that's blocking you, stopping you, getting in your way. But how do you know what's getting in your way? And in the quantum flow sessions, you don't really have to know, because it will just leave. So if you think about it, for your whole life, you've been thinking thoughts, and each thought sends an electrical signal through your neural system. Yeah, through the neurons in your body, the synapses, the nerves, right? It sends signals through your nerves to tell you to move your fingers, to tell you to walk. All of these signals are going out there. These signals that tell you how to react. These are heavily trodden paths, right? Like in a field where cows hang out, the cows always stick to the same path. That's what your thoughts and your brain are doing. They're sticking to that same path because that's the easiest path. That's the path of least resistance. So what alchemy does is it breaks up those paths. It breaks it up, right? If every signal that transmits is an electric signal that comes from your brain or your heart or your gut or one of your signals centers out to the ends of your body, to your appendages. It travels through your system and it lands somewhere. That electrical signal is interacting with the chemistry in your body and forming bonds between those neural synapses. So what alchemy does is it changes the actual alchemy in quantum flow. It changes the oxygen content of your body, changing the way that the chemistry works. What? Breaking those chemical bonds between the neurons and those crystallized chemical structures and freeing you from those thought patterns. But it's just the first step, right? So we're going to break those bonds, break those neural synapses, kind of put roadblocks in the path of those thought trains that just constantly stay on the same rail line. Thoughts constantly going on the same rail line. We're going to block those thoughts. We're going to break that train track. We're going to break the train track. And then through incorment, right, all of those chemical bonds have been broken and those crystals they're just hanging out in our appendages. All those thought signals are still hanging out at the far reaches of our body. So through incorment, we are bringing it back into our center, into our core. Incorment is bringing everything back into your core. And from there, activating your lower chakras and pumping those signals back, pulling them into your core and then pumping them back up your spine, through your thalamus gland, into your crown, your brain, your third eye, so that they can be recycled and used again, broken down and recycled. Wow, what a fantastic process. That's how far I'm at in my learning journey. But I think I can explain the rest of the process. Okay, so trying my best to explain the rest of the process. So we've had grounding, getting a clear idea, observation of where we're at, and setting our intention for where we want to be. Then we work through alchemy, so breaking those thought bonds that hold us chained to our current reality. And encorement is just pushing that all back into our spine, up and to our channel and clearing it out. Okay. So after encorement is radiancy. And this is where your intention becomes really important because we've cleared those channels and we want to refill them with something. But there's like the law of giving and receiving. I don't know if it's a law, but everybody calls everything a law. And the way I see it is that 'tis better to give than to receive, right? So in radiancy, what we're doing is we are radiating out the thought pattern that we want to incorporate in our lives. And that can be in the form of any of your intentions, right? So I am love, I am abundance, I am grace. Whatever that intention is, I am success, I am prosperity. Let's go. Let's radiate that thought out there. Because in radiating that thought out there, it's magnetizing it back to us, right? So we're going to radiate it out there, give all of our good love and juju out to the universe. And that's radiancy. And then after radiancy is flow. Sitting in the flow, receiving this glorious flow. Oh man, and can I tell you, that flow feels so good. So good. It can be a little intimidating at first. It's scary. Your body's doing things that you've never really experienced before. So that's what integration is for. Integration is giving your body time to adjust to the new existence. You have broken those thought patterns, and once they're gone, right? Maybe they're really hardened thought patterns. Maybe we have to go through multiple flow sessions to get them really broken up. We do have to go through multiple flow sessions. My friends, we have had these thought patterns our whole lives. We inherited them while we were in our mother's womb. Like, these are inherited thought patterns that we grew up with and continued to solidify through our entire lives. How old are you? Now take those years and multiply them times how many generations down your family line. Like, that's how dense these thought patterns are. So it does take more than one flow session, but still, we've got to work at it. We've got to start the practice. If we don't start today, we'll never start, right? Clearing this out, freeing ourselves from the chains of these thought patterns. Such a blessing. Okay, so that was my ramble. I think you saw the light come on. I keep my lights on timers so that I can be lazy and not turn them on and off. And it's really quite beautiful. I love my life with my light timers. Okay, so flow, radiancy, flow. So receiving, teaching ourselves to receive. Integration, sitting with it, integrating it. Actually, integration is really fun because during this phase of a flow session, you can do all kinds of cool stuff. A lot of people do like these shakes and wiggles and talk babble, but what I love to do is like just dance, like let your body move and dance and integrate all of that good feeling stuff. Or my other thing that I love to do for this is to just celebrate by screaming yes, like several times in a row. It's super great. And it feels so good to practice saying yes, because so often we are saying no. Okay, so integration and then divine truth, really coming back to that intention and the divine truth of all that is and being thankful for it and just sitting in gratitude. I can't go as in depth on the later stages because I haven't really studied them. I've just been able to witness them in the practices. But that's what I've learned for now. And then I think next I want to give you some of the analogies that I've practiced to help me with my understanding.